Alright guys, this is John. It is July 2024. I forget the date. Could be the 11th or the 15th. We're down here in Southern California, and today's the first day where we've had cooler weather. Most of the West has just been locked into this heat wave. I think Las Vegas was like crazy, like 120 degrees. Here it got to be about 100 for, I don't know, maybe a week and a half. You know, basically you just can't do anything when it's that hot. I miss living by the coast. We have Camp Pendleton, you know, probably about 30 miles away in the Pacific Ocean. Same. Anyways, so I got a new camera, and I'm just testing it out. It's a GoPro Hero 10. Bought it on Amazon. I think it was about $219, and then I got some accessories like a tripod and little mounts, you know, for different things, a head strap for point of view. Thought I'd test it out, you know, before I was using an iPhone. We'll see how this works out. I wanted to show you my old Porsche that I used to have. Check that thing out. It was a 1975 911S, 6-cylinder, and I bought it used, and it at about 30,000 miles, the engine exploded. What happened is, I guess 75 was like I think it was the first year for thermal reactors, and I had a roommate who talked me into buying it. He was a Porsche mechanic, and we looked at a bunch of different ones, and I think I picked this one up for, I don't know, 11 grand back in the early 80s. But yeah, that had thermal reactors. Now we call them catalytic converters, and they sat right underneath the engine and basically cooked the engine. They got so hot they cooked the engine. So it kind of destroyed the engine. Just it overheated the heads on it. And I was driving it, go pick up a date in my Porsche. You know, young man. That was years ago, right? And I take off from a red light. I'm doing like 6 miles an hour, and all of a sudden the engine just goes boom. And all the lights came on the dash, and I just coasted to the side. It turned out that one of the valves broke, the head of the valve broke, and it exploded the engine. That was big. There was a hole this big in the crankcase, so basically it sucked a valve. You know, I got kind of PO'd at my roommate. I go, what the hell, man? It's only got 30,000 miles on it. I bought it used. And he said, oh, yeah, that year had the, you know, thermal reactors, and it overheats the engine. I always noticed, I didn't know a whole lot about cars back then. I was probably like in my 30s. I didn't know enough about cars, but I always go, wow, man, why is the temperature always so hot? Oh, you need to put an oil cooler in the front. You know, they all do that. I go, oh, they do? Okay. So I went and had an oil cooler put on there. It still was pretty hot. You would touch the back of the body, and man, it was so hot. I was going, wow, that's just, you know. So what we did is we went to a junkyard, and we found a replacement engine for $1,800 and put it in the car. And then my roommate's buddy, also a Porsche mechanic, they were both really good, like European car mechanics at the time. So David, he comes over one day, and I told him what happened to the engine. And he goes, "Hey, do you want to sell that car?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll show up tomorrow morning with $10,000. I go, "Okay." I thought he was kidding. Next morning he shows up at 9 o'clock with $10,000, and I sold him the car. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. You know, it's kind of like, gosh darn it, damn thing exploded. I probably should have kept it, but live and learn. Now it'd be worth a lot more money. That's for sure. It was a cool car, you know. I mean, this was called, I think it's called Salmon. At the time, nobody liked these colors, but now it's kind of cool and retro, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna test out this this GoPro, and I got the Mercedes W124 300E under that cover. We'll take it off, and I got to go put a little bit of gas in it. It's my son's car, and I've done tons of work on it in the last several years. So it runs pretty good. Everything's good on it. The interior needs some work, and that's the next project. He decided to quit his job because he just burned out on working at this place. I don't blame him. It was a music store. They would get one customer a day, make about $50, 3 employees, and nothing to do all day. I was like, well, how does, you know, the owners of this music store have like 13 other locations in Southern California? And I'm like going, what is it, a write-off or something? How can they afford to do that? They're not making. He goes, I don't know. You know, I think that they were like involved with all the school districts in California where they'd supply them all the musical instruments for their bands and stuff. And then they also did work with Disneyland. Basically, it was instruments like, you know, brass type stuff like that. But anyways, I'm going to take the cover off of this. I got to start it up. Haven't started it in 2 months. And I need to go down to the gas station, put a little bit of fresh fuel on it just to keep it, you know, keep it from turning into varnish. Okay. Yeah, so here we are. So I have the GoPro set to basic 1080, 24 frames per second superview. I had to learn all that. They're fun little cameras, but they're if you barely touch them, they just start doing things. It's one thing, they're so small. I mean, it's like this big. So here it is, a 1992 300E W124. These are neat little cars. Fun to drive. This one's got the 6-cylinder because it's the 300E. I need things I need to do to this car. See the window, all the little bubbles. I'm gonna try to do that myself. Probably come out horrible, but let's see. No keyless entry. This is old school. This car's got about close to 150,000 miles. God, I cannot hold on to these keys. Okay, let's get in here. I got a new sunshade for it. This, my son refuses to buy a new one, so I got a new one. This one, it works, but it kind of like falls down. So you got your basic leather interior. It's held up pretty good for, you know, 30-year-old car. One of the things that really bugs me is, see this material here? A lot of these Mercedes from this era, it'll start shrinking. The material will start shrinking, and also, I don't know if these have foam. I think this one's just yeah, I don't think these have foam behind it, so the glue just lets go. The headliner See that headliner? It's droopy. And with this, I also have an SL over there from 1991. This is a 92, and that's a 91. I got some stuff due to it also. What happens is this has got foam on the back side, right? And the foam disintegrates. The glue's good, but the foam disintegrates, and then it does this. So if you pick up one of these cars, be aware of that. It kind of looks like hell. See, it's separated right here too. See, there's the foam right there, and the glue. It's just all rotted. In order to redo that, it's kind of a big pain in the butt, but you got to take we got to get this thing off to re-glue this thing on. I'm gonna see if I can save it. In order to redo the headliner on that, oh my god, I can't imagine what a shop would charge. You gotta undo everything here, right? There's a sunroof right there. And then there's I believe there's a pad behind here that has to come out with the headliner, and you take it out through the passenger door. You got to have this seat like either fully up and like this, or take the seat out, and then you put the material on. I don't want to think about it. I didn't want to think about doing that. Then you got just your basic Mercedes interior. You know, this was brand new in '92. This was about a $50,000 to $55,000 car, which you know, that was a lot of money back then. I remember people driving these things, and wow, man, I wish I could afford one of those. I couldn't. Most people couldn't. Oh, you know what? I got to hook the battery up. I'll leave that there. These things break a lot. Luckily, they're only about $10. They're aftermarket ones. It's got everything. Yeah, it's considered a modern classic, basically. You know. And you pull this. And then you have your M103 engine. And what I like is you put it in service mode. I think I need two hands. Yeah. Hold on. Side. See if I can do this. Now tilt it straight up. Battery replacement 2023. Yeah, I've done tons of work to that car. Had a lot of overheating issues. I still don't trust it. When you live in a hot climate, forget about it. I would, you know, it has a fan clutch. It has a main fan right here with a fan clutch, right? That thing only locks up at like 3,000 RPM. I read all this. So that means when you're idling, that fan is not locked up and cooling the engine. When you're in 90 plus degrees temperature Fahrenheit, you know, that starts affecting things. It's got auxiliary fans, low speed. Those only come on with when you have the air conditioner on. It's got a high speed fan function. Those come on when the temperature gets to like 110 to 115 Celsius, which is like over 200 Fahrenheit, something like that. And it's kind of, you know, I went through a lot of how does this work. You know, you got a coolant sensor right here. I had put a resistor on, but it blew my overprotection relay fuse, so I disconnected it. Be careful about that. But yeah, that sensor talks to the push button climate control unit in there, and then talks to a relay, and the relay box turns on the high-speed fans. What I did is I installed a let's hook up this battery. I installed a manual switch on the dash for the high-speed fan. I didn't trust it coming on, you know, and you know, it just when the thing comes on is just about the time when you're going to blow a head gasket. I think this car's blown 3 head gaskets because of temperature related stuff. One big one was that the auxiliary fans weren't coming on at all. I didn't know that, you know. And they weren't coming on because somebody had got into the climate control unit, previous owner, who knows, and had messed up the wiring on it and defeated the high-speed fan function. This is it right here. Watch. Well, no, this is it. Hear that? At will, you can. This will bring down the temperature in under 30 seconds. When the temperature is like past that 100 mark, on its way to 120. At 120, that's when your head gasket blows. These cars are real sensitive for that. So if you have one of these, do not overheat it. Okay, let's pressurize the system a little bit. 2 months, I haven't started it. All right. Good oil pressure. Hardly any gas. I have most everything working in here. Air conditioning works. It's still a R12 system. Should convert that over to the 134.8. R12 is really hard to find. You can find it, but it's like, you know, $40–50 for one can, and this it probably takes, you know, 2.5 to 3 cans. R12 or R134 is like $12. You get, you know, like 3 cans of that on Amazon for like 25 bucks. So that's one deal. Then you have this special little visor, you know. It's pretty smooth running little car. I did the lifters on this, the head gasket on this. Yeah, so I bought this head strap here, kind of like a jock strap for your head. And you put the camera right on there with one of these. And I got this clamp thing so that I can hook the camera up if I'm working under a car, and I can get some better footage like that. And then you have this this right here that I bought. I forget it, maybe 20 bucks. You undo it, it becomes a handheld, and this extends out to 56 inches, which is pretty good. And then I got these, I think I got this one. I got a bunch of these that hook up to regular tripod, and it came with this case. Basically it was just a camera, some instructions, a battery, I think a USB cord, No charger. I just use iPhone charger, old USB one. It works. It's charges it pretty quick, like 20 minutes at it's 100%. What else? I think that's about it. Okay, so now I'm on the activity setting. It's 4K, 60 frames per second on superview. That's why it's real wide, but it's nice because you can download an app called Quick, and it will you can use this as a monitor. Once it starts recording, it just turns black like that, but it can kind of help you with your you know, your view. I got this black baseball cap that I just put on, and then I don't look like I have a jock strap on my head. Plus you can tell the camera to stop, I have to say it, not record, and it'll shut off. I think it's supposed to turn on, but I haven't been able to get it to start recording. But here, stop recording. Yeah, so this is the new sunshade I got. I started getting into these sunshades because the sun was so bad here. One of our cars, basically the dashboard turned into a taco, and I had to replace the dashboard, and I said I'm never doing that again. But luckily these are pretty good. These are pretty good dashboards. But yeah, I just got this one here. It comes with Velcro. Pretty easy to, you just fold it in half. I used to be into those accordion ones, but this one here, it's light, it's easy. I have them for all my cars, and then you just store it away somewhere like that. All right, drive it a little bit. Get the, it's not good to let these cars, any car, just sit. I try to drive all my cars, yeah, at least once a month. I have one I drive all the time because it's okay if it gets dents and stuff like that. SL I don't drive very much at all. I don't know why. I think it's because there's always a car behind it that I have to move. But I will drive it. I need to take the top off. It's a convertible. So yeah, so this is kind of like a wide angle. You can look up this guy called Tedward. It's called Tedward on YouTube, and he's been doing it for years, where he has a point of view camera like this, but he has it like lower down, hanging off the bridge of his nose, and basically kind of blocking your vision. I don't know how he does it. I don't know, maybe he has a face that's really wide or something, but I tried that and I was going, you just see peripheral vision, like just like little parts of the road. I go, that's super dangerous. One thing about these cars is they have a turning radius where the wheels, you know, when you turn the wheels, most cars turn like this. These wheels, they turn, but they go at an angle when they turn, you know, so you get this super great radius. Kind of cool. Oh, look at that Jeep. Oh man, that guy's gonna go to the mall. There's so many Jeeps in this town. They're all decked out, but they never get them dirty because they've spent so much money on them. It cracks me up. When I was young, I had a Jeep, and man, I tell you, I'd take it out in the dirt. I always kept it clean, but I mean, I used it. I had 2 Jeeps. And a Ford Bronco, the little one. The Ford Bronco was okay, but there's a reason they call it a Bronco. because it goes like this when you drive it. It's short wheelbase, high up off the ground. Really harsh ride. I was glad to get rid of it. I would take it up to Big Bear and go on the trails up there with my buddy, go camping and stuff. That was fun, but you know, after a while it was kind of like, really couldn't take dates out in it. It was just, it was, you know, it was all stock. It had the V8 in it and everything. I think it was kind of a aqua blue color with white. The windshield, I think the windshield folded down. It had a metal top that you could take off. I took it off once and drove it to Big Bear without the top. I got so much dirt in my eyes from all the stuff on the freeway. I'm never taking that top off again. But they are cool, you know. Now they're worth $90,000. They got the brand new ones looking pretty good. I've heard a lot of horror stories about parts of the engine. I mean, when you look at the engines, they're covered in tubes and hoses and wires, and it's just like, what is all that stuff? Anyways, so this is point of view. Okay, we'll see how we'll see what it looks like. I'm using the built-in microphone. They have one that you can buy, the Media Mod. It has a microphone thing, but I don't know if I really need that. I think this microphone, it has 3 microphones on it. Okay, clear. Let's go. Let's go to the gas station. It's on this side. Yeah, what's the price of gas? And we're talking, doesn't tell me. This is a Shell gas station, so it's always the most expensive gas. I'll put the right gas in it. Okay, GoPro, stop recording. Alright, a little bit of fuel. Voltage is at 13.7, which is good. We'll place the alternator in this thing too. And we put LED bulbs and everything in the front. I don't have the air conditioning on in here because it'd be real noisy with this camera. Oh my God, who opened the gate? The city is really crowded. The city of Temecula is very crowded. It's like, it's just... I'm on, lady. Okay, I'm going for it. Huge Mack truck behind me. God. Things have about 180, 85 horsepower. They get up and go for, you know, a 6-cylinder. Great turning radius. I redid all the suspension, of course. The tie rods, steering dampener, shock mounts. Tested the shocks. I replaced them 10 years ago with SACH, S-A-C-H-S. And I tested them and they were still good. They're not leaking or anything. So anyways. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got the sunroof, it tilts. Sunroof works, but I don't like to use it. Just in case, man. Those things are really a pain. They're a pain to replace or fix. on. All right. So you can see all the stickers of all the oil changes. I've got a book this thick of all the repairs. Yeah, you can still pick these up fairly reasonable. I think he paid, he bought this one on eBay 10 years ago when I was at work. And I think he paid $3,800. And it came from Malibu, from a car dealer, a private car dealer. And I drove it around the block. I said, you didn't even get to kick the tires. I had found a 190 about the same price at a dealer in Corona, and it was real clean. But I drove this thing around the block, and then I was checking the engine, and I opened up the expansion overflow tank for the coolant, and it was all milky. Okay, we're wow, these things get hot. We're using the iPhone because this thing just shut off on me because the screen came up and said it's too hot. So 121, 122, 24, 28. So these things get really hot. Oh, shut off. Hey, GoPro, turn off. So you can talk to it, but yeah, they get hot. A lot of complaints about that. I don't know. I have to compare the, there's some other small ones. I think the Insta 360, and there's one other one. I'm gonna look up and see if those things get hot. I don't like that. It gets hot even, you know, when it's cool out. The thing just, because it's like a little computer. It's waterproof, so it's sealed real good. But yeah, you can feel it. It's like a brick. It feels like it's been in the oven. Anyways, we'll just use the iPhone. So I'm pretty much done with that. I'm gonna cover it back up, and then next. 500 SL. So this is junk. I'm done for now. I'll see you guys later.